This is why I bet.
This is why I bet.
This is why I bet. Betway, for the love of the game. Betway, for the love of the game.
A very good evening to you. It's that time of the week again where we give you the latest bets to help you place that bet, make that cash. This is the odds with me, Ida Oringa. A very big welcome to you. And we are brought to you courtesy of Betway, where we do it all for the love of the game. By we, I do mean myself and my two pundits here. It's football pundit Steve Njuguna, as well as former Kenyan international Innocent Muti. So welcome, guys.
Thank you very much.
Let me start things off with you, Steve. How are you? How's the week been?
The week has been wonderful. Aside from, of course, there's not been much football action apart from the Under-20 World Cup. And a few disappointments here and there, Zambia getting knocked out after having such a good tournament. But such things happen in football.
That was painful though, right?
Very, very painful.
Ah, man, that was really horrible. How about you, Mutisa? How are you doing?
Apart from the setback of the Zambia match, which all Africa was watching.
For the love of the game.
A very good evening to you and welcome to the odds with me, Ida Oringa. Now it's that time of the week again where we help you to place that bet to make that cash. We are brought to you courtesy of Betway, where we do it all for the love of the game. By we, I do mean myself and my two pundits here. It's the usual suspects. It's Steve Njuguna, our resident sports pundit, as well as former Kenyan international Innocent Muti. So welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Steve, let me start things off with you. How are you doing?
I'm okay. Just living.
Right.
That's how I can describe
Any
it.
highlights of the week?
Under-20 football action.
Right.
Very interesting. Apart from, of course, Zambia losing, which we had mentioned earlier. But it's so good to see young talent playing at such a high level and playing such good football.
Definitely. It was a highlight, although it was a bit of a sad highlight. I don't know how to put it. It was a disappointment. Mutiso, how about you?
My week was okay. Apart from the minor setback of Zambia, we were reeling for Zambia to win that match.
Right.
And when Italy went one man down, we really thought that Zambia into the semi-finals. But that didn't happen, and it was quite disappointing that from 2 goals down with 10 men, and then the winning 3-2. It was quite it's a painful match to watch.
Better luck next time, right?
Better luck.
But we're definitely seeing the future of African football with those young players, right?
Definitely.
Good stuff. As we like saying here, a shilling won is always twice as sweet as a shilling earned. Talk to us on social media. Use the hashtag The Odds. You can use the hashtag BambaSport as well. I will be having a look at some of your comments in the subsequent segments. And even better, call in live into the show. It's 0711 046 444. That's the number you're currently seeing on your screen right now. Call in, tell us who are you betting on right now. Of course, as we've been saying for the last 1-2 weeks, the big European leagues are done, but that doesn't stop it. We keep betting because the football continues. So let us know, how are you betting a few internationals? And that's what we'll be talking about today. We're talking internationals tonight. The World Cup qualifiers are halfway done, and we're throwing in a few international friendlies as well. But before we actually get into the thick of things, I want Steve here to take the viewers through what the World Cup qualifiers are all about. Explain the process.
Well, exactly. Thank you. And if you look at World Cup qualifiers, especially the ones happening this weekend are happening in Europe. And across the groups, the top two will qualify, but they won't be qualifying directly to the World Cup. They'll go to a subsequent stage where a few teams now will, the number twos and the number ones, they are sort of pools where they'll face each other for the slots they're allocated. And one of the disadvantages that Europe has is that unlike South America and the Asian Federation, where they have one extra slot where the team from Asia can meet the team from South America, Europe doesn't have that privilege. So if you don't get, after the second qualifying round, if you don't get one of those top spots, your World Cup dream is over, unless of course it's expanded as FIFA is planning in a few years.
Not too many fans for that. It's very divided. But basically what I'm getting is the group winners qualify directly, right?
No, the group winners do qualify directly, yes.
So the group winners qualify directly, and then the runners-up go into
the best runners-up,
the playoff
there's a subsequent playoff.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I think the viewers have gotten it. So how about this? Let's get right into the thick of things. It's Bosnia who will be taking on Greece. That will be tonight in about, what, I do believe an hour. That's a Group H qualifier at 9:45 p.m. tonight. It's third versus second. And Mutiso, to you, if Bosnia actually win this, they can leapfrog into that very coveted second place that Steve here is talking about.
Yeah, true. Only 3 points separate the top 3 teams. And in this Group H, it's quite a tense affair. And Bosnia versus Greece, in 6 meetings, Greece have won 3 times. There's been a draw for Bosnia. And right now, they're trying to chase Belgium for that coveted number one spot. And I think it won't be a high-scoring match for me. And I'm looking for Bosnia to win, to reach this game, because they are unbeaten at home currently.
All right, so Bosnia are unbeaten at home, will actually be getting to their home form pretty soon. But Greece are also unbeaten in this World Cup qualifying group stage. Do you think this unbeaten run can continue, Steve?
Well, it's actually, let me correct you there. Greece have lost once.
Oh, they have?
Yeah, and they did lose to Bosnia in the return leg.
Oh, right.
If you remember, that was
The
just
first leg.
a few months ago.
Yeah.
And there was that infamous episode between Edin Dzeko and Borussia Dortmund defender Socrates Papastotopoulos, where Dzeko actually pulled Socrates' pants down and was given a red card for that.
Yeah.
And Dzeko actually issued a warning and told the Greeks, when you come to Bosnia, you will see the welcome we will give you. Too bad Dzeko is suspended for tonight's clash,
right.
But still, that's the type of atmosphere Greece will be facing today. And also, remember that they lost the first game, so this essentially is a must-win. And they have a very young squad. As I was discussing with some of the guys up there in gallery before we came in, this is not the great Greece side of Euro 2004, the ones that had the Charisteas, the Georgios Karagounis, Theophanis Gekas. We have younger players now, the likes of Anastios Donis. The only senior player there we can say is someone like Socrates, the only one who can, let's say, guide the younger players. And that will be a problem when they face a Bosnia side, which has been very, very good ever since their 2014 World Cup debut, where they played exceptionally well in a tough group. They've been very, very good.
All right, a good point that Steve is raising here. Greece are actually former champions, and not too long ago, former European champions, what, 2004, that's 13 years ago. What happened to them since?
I think it was by sheer luck that they won the 2004, because it was only through defensive and gritty display that they came to win, and everyone was rooting for Portugal to beat them in the finals, but that didn't come into fruition. It was just by good luck.
Yeah.
And I think they went into a slump ever since, because they just became complacent, because they didn't expect even themselves to win. But right now, I think they're coming up because some of the Greece players are into the big European leagues, and I think they're trying to formulate themselves into a force in Europe.
Right. So, Mutiso, you already took us through the head-to-head, and how many times did these two particular teams have met? So let's look at their recent form. As you're seeing on your screen there, what Mutiso was talking about. The two teams have played 8 times. Bosnia have won 1. The two teams have drawn thrice, and Greece have won 4 of those 8 meetings. But how about their last 5 in terms of their recent form? Let's have a look at that. Bosnia actually with 2 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. Actually 3 wins, Steve.
Yeah, and you can see the team they lost to is Belgium, which there is no shame in losing to some teams. If you lose to Belgium, you remember our main man there, Romelu,
oh no,
Menama, Bolingoli, Lukaku.
Okay, Mutiso
Yeah.
might not be too familiar. Mutiso, the thing is this. Steve has a thing for Romelu Lukaku. I
No,
don't even know how else
I don't
I can
like
put
the way
it.
people spell his name.
Right.
You have to say his name in a certain way.
Romelu.
Romelu, exactly. You can speak Lingala.
I've been to Congo.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Romelu, Bolingoli, Menama,
Menama.
Lukaku, not
Right.
Lukaku. Lukaku. Exactly. This is somebody now we can talk.
Okay, Steve, let's move on from Lukaku. Right, so let's move on. Other than that, I do believe a draw against Greece,
Yes.
and a win against Cyprus, Albania, and Gibraltar.
Again, also there, look at the win against Albania. That's a good win. Albania is a team that we saw recently at the Euro 2016, playing very well in a very tough group, managing even to beat Romania in that Group A where they were with France and Romania. So I think Bosnia is definitely looking like the favorite in this tie with their home advantage, and we know the type of fans they have in those teams.
All right, what about you, Muti? So let's take us through rather the last 5 of Greece. How has their recent form been?
Of course, they drew with Belgium. Their last match 1-1. It was a 1-1 draw. And they lost to Bosnia in the first leg. And also, they won against Belarus and won against Estonia, who are the whipping boys of the of Group H.
Right.
And also lost to Cyprus, which was quite surprising.
So it's been a bit topsy-turvy for them, to say the least. You keep saying you don't see this being a very high-scoring game on account of how defensive Greece are, right?
In the 6 matches, 3 of the matches have gone over 2.5, and 3 of the matches have gone under 2.5, sorry. And I also see this game, since it's such a tense affair and so much is at stake here, because only 1 point separates those two teams, I see a low-scoring game, maybe a 1-0 or a 2-0.
All right, we'll get to the predictions very shortly. Who's out for Greece? Because a ton of players, Steve, are out. Who's out in particular?
We have Georgia's Samaris, people who followed the 2014 World Cup. Remember that heartbreaking goal he scored against Ivory Coast, denying Ivory Coast a round of 16 berth. They have, of course, Georgios Savelas. They have Taxidis, who's out. And, of course, Kyriakos Papadopoulos, the German-based defender, is also out to suspension. And Karelis is also out.
All right. So
Their
how is...
midfield will be very exposed.
Exactly, because that's what I was going to ask. How will this affect the midfield? Because most of these are actually key players in the midfield, Steve.
Yeah, but you look at Greece, you also see the midfield. You remember the era of, I almost said Enzi, but the era of Georgios Karagounis, a man who was, he was so distinguished, both at Greece and at also Fulham. But they do have some players. We have Panagiotis Kone, who has been doing his thing in Serie A with Genoa for a few years. He's been playing mainly on the left wing, but we know that some of these players who play attack-minded tend to sometimes, when they grow older, come into the midfield to show their ball distributing ability. So I think he might be key for that team tonight.
All right, how about that? So let me give you the odds. Let me give you a run through of those odds. As you're hearing, the game is actually in less than an hour from now. It's actually 8:50 right now. The game is at 9:45. So place those bets now. It's 1.64 for Bosnia to take it at home. It's 3.43 for a draw between the two teams. And it's a whopping 5.58 for the Greeks to take it away. So already Mutiso gave us an earlier prediction, 1-0. You're saying it'll be very low scoring, right?
It will be very low scoring. If at all, it will be there will be more goals, maybe 2 goals.
Okay.
So I'm going for a 1 or X.
1 or X.
That's a safe bet.
That's a safe bet. That's a sure bet. What about you, Steve?
I'll go for that too, although I know that might probably not have as much money, but I think I'll go for it because also Bosnia can score, but they can also
defend.
They can also concede.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think a draw or a win for Bosnia is the fair result. It's unlikely to see Greece with this myriad of injuries doing something.
But sometimes we always say you'd rather little money as opposed to no money, right?
Yeah.
So you'd rather go with a sure bet right there. Let's quickly move on to Didier Deschamps and his men who have traveled to Spain, or rather to Sweden tonight, where they will face off in a Group A qualifier. That's also at 9:45 p.m. So you have about less than an hour to place that bet. Mutiso, to you. France with a brilliant display last week. More of this tonight?
I think the array of talent in France's attack is just so overwhelming, and that was my second team, the second team that I'm supporting, and I see this game, it will be a high-scoring game to me. Sweden beat Portugal 3-2 in the previous match, so they attack as well as they concede goals, and France the past match. I think last week I told you the game will be over 2.5, and you didn't agree with me.
They blitzed past Paraguay. I now agree.
Exactly, with Oliver Giroud getting a hat-trick and actually pointing out a statement, because in Arsenal he's had a topsy-turvy season, because he's been scoring every time he comes in,
right,
but he's not been a starter at Arsenal. But in France, I don't know what happens when he puts on that jersey for France.
This guy is on virtual steroids,
I guess it's the national
I'm telling
pride,
you,
yeah.
for national pride. He's the first player, I think, to score a hat-trick in 17 years.
Yeah, since David Trezeguet in 2001.
Brilliant player.
When France were playing against the FIFA All-Stars in an exhibition match. So I think that was a good achievement by Giroud. And he reminds me of another player who used to do the same. You remember Diego Forlan for Uruguay? Diego Forlan at Manchester United, maybe at Atletico Madrid he was a little bit good, but at Villarreal he wasn't so prolific. But let him just wear the Uruguay shirt. Give him the Uruguay shirt.
It will be something
he
else.
won like 3 or 4 Copa Americas.
Let's move on from Diego Forlan, and let's actually keep in mind what we're talking about. It's Sweden taking on France. How have Sweden been doing, since Zlatan?
Well, I
post
think
Zlatan.
they're adapting to post-Zlatan times very well. They have an unlikely hero in Jonathan Guidetti, the man who, of course, has very strong Kenyan connections, having played at Ligi Ndogo a few years back. And, of course, his horrendous miss against Manchester United in the UEFA Europa League semi-final. Yeah. But aside from that, you can see not only Forsberg, they have some experienced players, some as Mikael Lustig, who played against our very own, who played alongside our very own Wanyama at Celtic. And they have Emil Forsberg, who was the top assist maker in Bundesliga last season with RB Leipzig. So as an attacking force, they are very good, and they showed that against Portugal. Beating Portugal, not only beating Portugal, but beating them in Madeira, Cristiano Ronaldo's hometown. Yeah. So that's a big deal. All
right, so Emil Forsberg, actually another revelation post-Zlatan, as Steve is correctly pointing out here. Assists on top of assists, Mutiso. Brilliant player.
I think that's why he's on top of the list of Arsenal transfers, because Arsene Wenger, I believe, is a huge fan of Emil Forsberg. And just during the week, I saw some of his highlights on YouTube, and my word, he's a good player. He's a gritty midfielder with also an eye for that crucial pass, or defense splitting pass. And I've been quite impressed by Sweden because in the 4 matches they played, they've been scoring 3 goals and 3 goals and above. And that's why I'm rooting for this match to be a high scoring.
All right, Steve, I believe Sweden is the reigning European under-21 champions, yeah?
Yeah, and that's the core of their squad,
right,
that's coming up and doing these great things.
All right, so I'm sorry, we do have to take a break right now, but I do have to give you the odds before we take that break. It's 5.17 for Sweden to take it at home. It's 3.49 for a draw between the two teams, and it's 1.67 for Didier Deschamps' men to win it against Sweden. That will be in less than an hour, as we are saying here. So, Steve, I want a prediction from you, a quick one.
I think this will be a topsy-turvy game.
Yeah.
I think a 1 or 2 bet will be a safe one, because I don't see a draw coming here. And just a small mention, I know we're out of time, but Sweden also has another Kenyan connection, because the left back Olson, his mother hails from County 001, Mombasa.
All right, Steve there with the tidbits, never ending. What about you, Mutiso? Prediction?
For a safe bet of a 2.5, and for someone who wants money on this match, to give France straight on.
And everyone who's watching this, of course, wants money. So that goes undoubtedly, even without saying. But guys, on that note, let's take a break. Don't go far. We'll be next having a look at some few games. It's Serbia versus Wales and Cameroon, the indomitable Lions, taking on Colombia. Don't go far.
The National Super League is not for the faint-hearted.
Kama wewe si mwanaume sidhani kwanza cheza ni ball ngumu sana.
Playing the NSL is more difficult than playing in the Premier League.
With the largest number of clubs in the land, only those with experience achieve.
Nimeenda Ujerumani, nimesoma mpira.
And I've done my diploma in Brazil.
With the largest pool of talent, only those clubs with strategy win.
When people run headlines that say KCB vaults raided and they are referring to the football club being relegated, that sounds off. So we had to clean it up very quickly.
With diverse ambitions, only those clubs with a vision thrive.
Will be listed on the stock exchange. We want to have our own stadium.
Don't miss NSL Club Life only on Bomber Sport.
I'm a Tottenham player and I've just been there for a season, so I'm enjoying it at Tottenham. I want to say that I'm looking forward to the next season. My name is Victor Wanyama and you're watching Bamba Sport.
Welcome back. You are watching The Odds with me, Ida Waringa, brought to you by Betway, where we do it all for the love of the game. Now, prior to this, we have talked about 2 World Cup qualifiers. Let's have a look at one more. It's Serbia taking on Wales in a Group D World Cup qualifier that will be on Sunday, 11th June at 9:45 p.m. That is Serbia taking on Wales. Now, right before we get into the thick of things, do remember you can talk to us on social media and you can call in live and direct, make that contribution to our live discussion right here on the show. Call in on 0711-046-444. It's the number you're seeing right now on your screen. So, Steve, to you, Wales did so well in the Euros, and then what happened?
I think there is also that post-tournament slump. When you're doing so well in a tournament, then you end up like I can give you the example of Egypt. Egypt always used to win AFCON, but never ever qualify for the World Cup. Why? Because they'd win AFCON, then when it gets to qualifiers, they're favorites, and it gets to their heads and they don't do well.
Yeah.
So post-tournament slump.
And then they've become the Manchester United of this particular World Cup qualifying group, Muti. So they're just drawing all over the place.
I think it's complacency.
Ah, Steve. Have you heard what Steve has said?
No, what I said.
Are they 6th? Really, Steve?
You know that's the
That's a
DNA
good
of
one.
Manchester
Oh
United.
my! Let's move on
it's
from
fine.
that shade, Mutiso. Tell us what
I
happened.
think it's complacency. I'll blame it on that because they really had a great European run, and I was impressed by Bale, Gareth Bale, the likes of Hal Robson, Kanu, who was one of the tournament player of the tournament, right? And it even got him a contract at West Brom. And I was quite impressed also by Arsenal player Aaron Ramsey, sorry, Aaron Ramsey. And Wales, in the last time they were in Serbia, they were beaten 6-1, which was I think a turning point for them.
All right.
It was a turning point for them, and that's why in this that's why they had an upturn in fortunes, and actually they had a good run in the Europe.
All right, good stuff. We are getting in a few calls. So, what's your name? Where are you calling from? And what's your comment or question for us? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, hi, how are you?
Hello. Yes, I'm fine.
Yes, what's your name? Please reduce the volume on your television. Yes, what's your name?
Okay, naitwa David.
Yes, David.
Sasa nilikuwa nataka kujangia hiyo game ya France na nini?
France na Sweden.
Sweden. Yes, I'm seeing two France inapita tu hapo hivyo rahisi sana.
Unaona France wakichukua?
Yeah, tena I'm predicting Giroud to score.
Who, Giroud?
Yeah, Olivier Giroud to score.
Okay, so you're seeing what's the prediction quickly?
3-1.
All right, so 3-1, that's David predicting the scoreline for Sweden and France. Thanks so much for calling, David. Let's move on. Hello? Hello? Okay, let's take another call. That seems to have dropped. Hello? Maybe the connection isn't quite good. Hello? Okay, not too good there. Let's actually move on. So we were talking about Serbia taking on Wales. Wales have dropped drastically since Euros. I do believe they reached the semi-finals, not so, Steve?
Yeah, where they lost to Cristiano Ronaldo's Portugal.
Yes.
But it was an interesting one. And as I said, post-tournament slump.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, even if they win this game against Serbia, they still won't be second.
They still won't be, but it'll be a step.
Yeah.
They'd rather win than anything else. They need to give themselves a chance.
Okay, and what steroids have Serbia been on? Because my, oh my, is this the same team that failed to qualify for the Euros, Mutiso?
Yeah, it's still the same team, and I think they're out on revenge. And in this match particularly, I think they will take advantage of the key absentees from the Wales match.
Okay, and any home advantage for Serbia here, Steve?
Yeah, they have home advantage, and they are playing really good football at the moment. And also some of their top players are also getting to a higher level. For example, Sead Kolasinac has recently signed with Arsenal. He's a very dependable defender, Bundesliga Team of the Year. In Serbia, they actually nickname him the Hulk.
Oh.
So he might come through for them also today.
Okay,
but Sead Kolasinac is not from Serbia.
He's from Serbia?
Bosnia.
He's from Bosnia.
He's from Bosnia. He's called the Bosnian Hulk.
The Bosnian Hulk.
Exactly.
There you go.
Those two states are new. But thank you very much.
But I think it was one country, right?
Huh? Yeah, they were
Then
actually they were the former Yugoslav Republic.
All right, good
Yeah.
stuff there, guys. Let's have a look at their recent form. If we could have the last 5 of Serbia up on screen right now. How has their recent form been? Let's have a look. So the two teams, wow, they've only played 3 times, guys, and it's 2 times that Serbia have won it. Wales have actually won it 0 times. Let's have that on screen up again. That was the head-to-head. Serbia winning it 2 times. A draw between the two. I'm sorry about this. Serbia have won twice in their last 5 games. They've drawn twice and 1 loss. Steve.
Well, there were friendlies, of course, such as that game against United States. But they've won in some games that really mattered, like against a very strong Austria team. Of course, a draw against Wales away, which they got that draw away from home. That was good for them. So I think right now they can finish the job back here. They won also against Georgia, which is not a very strong team.
All right, what about the last 5 for Wales? Let's have a look. The team has been drawing, as we're saying here. It's about 4 draws and 1 win, just 1 win coming up against Moldova. What do you make of this, Mutiso?
The king of draws, just like you said, just like Manchester. But I think it's down to their good defense. Maybe they've been blunt in attack, but it's down to their good defense. It's because they haven't been getting more goals, because Gareth Bale has also had a topsy-turvy season because of injuries plaguing him. That's why even in Real Madrid, there's talk of him exiting the team next season. And the reverse, it was 1-1. And the last time they were in Serbia, they were beaten 6-1. So they have to be wary in this match. And I see Wales getting a point in this match.
All right.
Continue with their drawing sequence.
And a bunch of players out for Wales, Steve.
Of course, Gareth Bale is out after picking up that that yellow card suspension against Ireland. Neil Taylor banned for 2 games after that tackle on Seamus Coleman that broke the right back's leg. Hal Robson-Kanu has a leg injury. And of course, Liverpool youngster Ben Woodburn, who has been a breakthrough through the squad, is not likely to play. So we're likely to see somebody like Sam Vokes up front for Wales.
All right, so Serbia have actually scored in 12 out of 13 home games, while Wales have conceded in 4 out of 5 games away. So we can see it's not very balanced between the two. We'll see who will come out on top. Let me give you a quick run through of those odds. It's 1.66 for Serbia to take it at home. It's 3.46 for a draw between the two teams, and it's 5.28 for Wales to take it away. So based on this, Mutiso, how do you see it going?
Under 2.5.
Under 2.5?
Yes.
Any direct winner, or you've said a draw?
Under 2.5 or a draw for me.
All right. What about you, Steve?
Serbia.
Straight.
I think Serbia will win. But maybe I might agree with him for the under 2.5. Maybe a 1-0 or... no, 2-1 is still 2-0 or something.
Maybe 2-0.
But yeah, but I agree with him on under 2.5, but I see Serbia winning this because the spine of the team, look at the spine of the team. Gareth Bale is not there. Neil Taylor has been very consistent at left back. Hal Robson-Kanu, we also what he could do during the Euros. So this will be a concern for Wales.
All right, so at least my two pundits agreeing on one thing. It will not be a high-scoring game, maybe less than 2.5. But let's move on. The indomitable Lions will be taking on Colombia. That will be an international friendly, so not much on the line there. It won't be a World Cup qualifier or an AFCON qualifier for that sake. It's 9:30 p.m. This game will be happening on Tuesday, the 13th of June. Now, how do you see this one going, Mutiso?
Cameroon versus Colombia. It's grit versus what can I say? Fancy football. You saw Colombia just recently drawing against Spain. It was an entertaining match. I saw that match. It was so entertaining. Falcao, his form in Europe, he took it to his home country. And actually, they're still playing in Spain. This match is going to be played in Spain. And also the 2-2 draw against Spain was still played in Spain. And today, I think it will just be like a training sequence for Cameroon, because they're preparing for the Confederations Cup, and I don't think they'll take this match too lightly. For me, and Colombia maybe will take it strongly, and maybe they'll put their first 11 there. But Cameroon, for me, I don't think they'll take this match too lightly, because they want to make a statement in the Confederation.
All right, what about you, Steve? Any game changes?
Okay, I think the biggest game changer is not even any player. It's the fact that this game is being played exactly 13 or 14 years to the death of Mark Vivian Foe on this very, very same fixture. That was in the 2003 Confederations Cup. In fact, even before the game, there'll be a short memorial to honor the former Manchester City midfielder who died during this game. So Cameroon versus Colombia, they've not played since, and it'll bring a lot of emotion to this game. So I think for that in itself, it'll give Cameroonian players more incentive to win the game, more incentive to honor their fallen midfielder, who was a great soul on and off the pitch.
So they will be fighting for 4.
Yes.
Yes. So the odds are looking like this. It's 3.92 for Cameroon to take it. It's 3.74 for a draw between the two teams. Do remember that, as Mutiso is pointing out here, neither will be at home. It's actually being played in Spain, not so, Mutiso. And it's 1.98 for Colombia to take it. Based on this, Mutiso, a prediction.
GG.
GG.
Goal. Both teams.
All right. Steve, you're seeing Cameroon pipping it.
No, I'm seeing an over 2.5.
An over 2.5?
Yeah, because Cameroon, in Africa Cup of Nations, they were very good defensively. But it's not necessarily to say that they'll replicate the same against Colombia. And as also I said, the Mark Vivian 4 factor, that means Cameroon will also be wanting to be on the attacking edge. Look at the people they have. Benjamin Mokanjo, wonderful season with Lorient. They have Vincent Abubakar, the man who's been doing things at Besiktas. So they will score. Colombia, we saw James Rodriguez. We saw them against Spain. They are people who are itching to score. And if Cuadrado doesn't get a red card, as usual, they'll score goals. So for me, I see an over 2.5. And to some extent, I think I've agreed too much with Mutiso.
Yeah,
but I'll also agree today that a goal is in the offing.
All right. And Cameroon will be facing Nigeria after this, yeah?
I think no, because they are playing Confederations Cup the next week.
The next week.
Yeah, so this is their last preparation game before they fly down to Russia. I think, in fact, after Tuesday, Wednesday, they fly down to Russia. Their first game should be on Sunday, I think. Sunday or Monday, if I'm not wrong.
Okay, let's get in a call before we take another break. Hello, what's your name and where are you calling from? All right, that also seems to have dropped. On that note, let's take a break. We'll be having a look at the multi-bet next. Keep it Bamba Sports.
I'm a Tottenham player, and I'm just there I've just been there for a season, so I'm enjoying it at Tottenham. I want to say that I'm looking forward to the next season. My name is Victor Wanyama, and you're watching Bamba Sports.
Welcome back. It's the odds right here on the home of true fans, Bamba Sport. It's multi-bet time, but before we get into that, you can call in live. Remember, it's 0711046444, the number you are currently seeing right now on your screen. So let's start with, Let's start with Mutiso's multi-bet. Mutiso, you started us off with Italy.
Yes, I started off with Italy against Liechtenstein. I hope I correct. I pronounced that well.
Mr. Pronunciation.
Yes.
Let me not lie
Mr.
that I know the pronunciation. let me not lie that I know that pronunciation. Let's leave it at that.
Liechtenstein, and I'm rooting for an Italy win. Italy, I think their games have changed from that nitty-gritty defensive display. Right now, they're an all-attacking, and they have an array of attackers like Andrea Bellotti. Has been sensational for Torino, netting around 25 goals. And I'm seeing a win here for Italy.
All right, do you think maybe the defensive play left with Conte? Post-Euros.
Post-Euros. Okay, Conte is a two-dimensional coach. Okay, he's an all-around coach because he mixes both defensive and attacking responsibilities. And I think Italy picked up from that because when he was at Juve, most Italian players were at Juventus, and still the same players. Okay, I'm taking Italy for a win, but the odds are too little for a win. So an over 2.5 because Liechtenstein, I don't think they'll give Italy a run for their money.
All right, and then you're seeing San Marino being pounded by Germany.
Yes, an over 3.5. Germany will just overwhelm San Marino. And I'm seeing Ozil scoring in this match. He's had
why Ozil?
Because he's had a terrific end of season for Arsenal, and I think he's also trying to make up for the slump during the season with Arsenal and trying to look for a new contract with Arsenal.
All right. What about Holland versus Luxembourg?
Holland versus Luxembourg, first half, second half, win for Holland. Last week, I told him. It's also first half win and second half win for Holland. He didn't agree with me, and they ended up beating Ivory Coast 5-0. Yeah. The thing I don't like betting with African teams because during friendlies they don't go all out. Actually, they try to test maybe the fringe players or the youngsters in the team, and that's why I knew it will be a romp for Holland, and also it will be a romp for Luxembourg. So if you want to get money in this match, either first half win Holland, second half win Holland, or an over 2.5.
Okay, and then you're seeing Belgium winning it without Hazard.
Yeah, they'll definitely win.
Yeah.
They don't need Hazard in this match,
yeah.
And I think they'll cope well without him.
All right. Steve, what do you think of Mutiso's multi-bet? Any loopholes?
Well, I think they're very easy teams. I think they're a bit straightforward. I like what he did with a bit of the diversity because I think if he had given Germany direct to win, the odds would have been very small. But looking at a team like Holland versus Luxembourg, I know I disagreed with him over Ivory Coast last week, but I watched that whole game and I saw that, as he said, fringe players were played. But the one thing with Holland is that you can never be too sure. Especially when we are talking about a bet such as a half-time win and full-time win. Maybe a full-time win for Holland would be more advisable. Half-time, any team is capable of holding Holland to a 0-0 till half-time. Because Holland right now, I think, the most unpredictable squad in Europe. They are still a team in transition. They are not always a safe bet. The one thing we do know is that they'll win this match. Whether they'll win it by half-time is a bit tricky to find out.
I'll disagree with you there. Because I think it will be an all-out win for Holland, both first half and second half, because Luxembourg, they've won 9 times against them. And Holland, they had a slump when Daley Blind's father, Daley Blind Senior was with them. It's when they had a slump. But right now they have a new coach. And I think they made a statement when they beat Ivory Coast last weekend in the same pitch at Rotterdam. And tonight, they're still going to want to impress their fans more and show them, look, it was by bad luck that we didn't qualify for the Euros last season, and this time we are going all out. We want to qualify for the World Cup. You remember what they did to Spain in the last World Cup in 2014. And I think they want to come back to a force to reckon with back in Europe, because that's my team, by the way. That's my team, and I didn't like the way they slumped. Yeah, they slumped so much. And
one thing I might tell you though, the Ivory Coast game, as you said, the African teams of course sometimes rotate the squad. This is a qualifier. I remember England versus Malta a few months back. We were all thinking England will whitewash Malta.
But that's England.
Yeah.
But guys,
England.
speaking of England, that's where Steve's multi-bet starts things off. Scotland versus England. So you think England and their military training, you saw them midweek.
Yeah, I saw that military training.
You think it's going to help them?
I don't think it's their main training, though.
Of
I think
course.
they're actually better than Scotland. One thing I've always said, leveled as an accusation against Scotland, is their inability of open-mindedness when it comes to football. They only know one type of football, and that's the traditional British type of football. Yeah, wing play and try and run down the wings and try and get in across and score. They've not been able to diversify in terms of football, and that can cost them. England, the one team that England will always be sure of beating is Scotland.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that for me is that. Then there is Poland versus Romania, a tough game here for Poland because Romania has also been, ever since their pathetic run in Euro 2016, they've been gradually increasing. The likes of Bogdan Stanciu has been playing well. Florin Andone has had a very wonderful season with Deportivo La Coruña. Was actually in top 5 scorers of La Liga last season. So he'll be a threat. But Poland, we all know Poland. It has immense attacking talent, and they're at home. So I'll give that as a Poland win. Then we have Nigeria versus South Africa. This is at the Calabar Stadium, and we all know that stadium, the imposing factor. And this accusation I level against South Africa, and I think probably even Innocent might agree with me, South Africa are the England of Africa.
Really?
Always the best equipment, always the best stadiums, always the so-called most hyped players. But when it comes to the international scene,
underachievers.
Flat.
But actually, yeah, you're quite right. I would like to get Mutiso's perspective on this because it's like South Africa never reached their potential. There's a lot of hype, but they never reached their potential, you know. Mutiso.
I don't think it's reaching their potential. I don't know what happens.
So you don't even think they have that potential?
They don't have that potential.
Let me tell you.
If you compare them with Kenyan players were way above South Africa. I guess it's just the facilities that they are a point above us. And I don't really know what happens with South Africa when they play other African nations. But when they play European nations, they win all those matches.
Play well.
They
play
play
so
well.
Spain some time back. And that's an accusation I level against them because I think also they've been hyped a lot by their media. It's same with English media, how it hypes its players, making them look. It also makes the player. It's the same way Kenya, when we go to Sekafa sometimes, we feel like we are entitled to win it. And that affects the players to some extent. And we end up making small decisions. And this is the Nigeria side, which has been under the German Rohr, who has been doing a good thing, incorporating young players, removing the old superstars who think they're too good to play for the team, that they have to be begged to play. And he's putting young, willing players like Iwobi, Eheanacho. This is a team that has beaten Egypt recently, and that in itself, the only one team we know, Cameroon, has beaten Egypt recently. So Nigeria, I think, will go through this, also considering the fact that they're at home. Then we have the final game is Zambia versus Mozambique. I think for me also that's a little bit clear-cut. We saw Mozambique against Harambee Stars a few months ago. We were clearly better technically. They do have a few good players like Ronnie Marcos, who plays his trade in Hamburg, in Germany. But Zambia, with the likes of Kalaba, the likes of Stopila Sunzu there at the back, they have the experience. And Zambia at home is always a tough game. I think the only team that has taken points from Zambia at home is Harambee Stars when we went there last year, courtesy of that 1-1 draw, I think. Yeah, it was a 1-1 draw.
Yeah.
So it's hard to see Mozambique winning this one.
All right, so you're going for direct wins: England, Poland, Nigeria, and Zambia.
Yes.
All right, Mutiso, any loopholes you're seeing in Steve's multi-bet?
Yes, I'll agree with him in two teams. Yeah. That's Poland, a win for Poland and a win for Nigeria. I'll nitamuunga mkono on that. But I'll disagree with him with Scotland and England, and also Zambia versus Mozambique. Zambia, I think they lost their oomph after they won that emotional 2012 African Cup of Nations. They lost their oomph. They've not been their former selves ever since that time. And I think with Mozambique right now, and this a crucial group, I think it will be an under 2.5.
Under 2.5.
Under 2.5 for me. It will be a low-scoring match, and it will be under 2.5. With Scotland and England, you should know that this is a derby, right?
It is a derby.
2 years ago, Scotland beat England 3-2. It was a World Cup qualifier. And in this match, I don't see a straight win for England. Scotland has too much experience, and England, you can see that they're trying to blend some experience with the youth. And Gareth Southgate, he'll be wary in this match, and for me, this match it will be a GG.
All right, so GG in terms of Scotland taking on England.
Yes.
In that derby, as you're putting it.
It's a derby.
All right.
Yes.
And the funny thing about it is that your multi-bet was actually 100% correct. So for those who followed Mutiso's multi-bet from last week, how much money did you win, Mutiso?
Should I say it?
You should. I mean,
Atafuatwa.
Atafuatwa.
Don't say. I care about your safety.
No, but he did invest a bit and he reaped even bigger, if I might just put it that way. Mutiso actually got 100% correct on his multi-bet from last time. So who knows, it might just be another 100% correct this week, and Steve, you just might be joining him, not so?
Of course.
All right, so it's over 250 million shillings to be won in the Betway jackpot, and you do get a free bet with every deposit. So let us know how you bet. Are you going to take the advice on the multi-bet? Let us know. Use the hashtag the odds. I will be having a look at some of your comments in the course of the week, and we will be talking to you in the course of next week. So we are taking a break. Coming up next, we'll be having a look at another game. France are still in action. They're playing quite a bit of football in the next few days. We'll be having a look at France taking on England. Maybe not Steve's favorite team, England, but we'll be having a look at that. Don't go far. It's the odds with me, Ida Waringa.
The National Super League is not for the faint-hearted.
Kama wewe si mwanaume sidhani kama unaweza cheza, ni ball ngumu sana.
Playing the NSL is more difficult than playing in the Premier League.
With the largest number of clubs in the land, only those with experience achieve.
Nimeenda Ujerumani, nimesoma mpira.
And I've done my diploma in Brazil.
With the largest pool of talent, only those clubs with strategy win.
When people run headlines that say KCB vaults raided and they are referring to the football club being relegated, that sounds off. So we had to clean it up very quickly.
With diverse ambitions, only those clubs with a vision thrive.
We'll be listed on the stock exchange. We want to have our own stadium.
Don't miss NSL Club Life only on Bamba Sport.
So it's the odds right here on Bamba Sport, the home of true fans. Now, France will be taking on England in an international friendly. How do you think it's going to go? Let's have a look.
Hii game ya England na France, mimi napatia France ushindi. Because wenye tumeona game ya players wa France wameperform kwa game ya Europa Champions na EPL imekuwa juu. Because ukiona kina Oliver Giroud anafunga mabao, Pogba mid akiwa akopoa, iko smart. England sioni kama iko mahali. Hiyo haiwezi.
Kwa maoni yangu kwa game ya England na France, tutawekea England sababu England wacha tuseme mchezo wao uko juu kuliko pande ya France. Makocha wao wako sawa na kwa mtu yeyote naweza mwambia wekea tu England. Utakuwa pesa yako itakuliwa.
Game ya France na England. At least ukiona kama ule msali toka Celtic kule defender pale ni Kuriakose. Azini wana coordinate sana unajua yeye ni fullback ya wing na anaweza manage sana. So according kwa wale wanakuwa wanaekeza, mimi naweza waambia waeke kwa France. But mambo kwa kubet yenyewe, kubet unaweka GG, lakini kwa France yenyewe ndio na win. So the best thing according to me nasema France ndio na win.
Kuhusu hii game ya England na France, ile kitu naona England itashinda, itawin. Ni juu bolo ilianza pale England. Kwa hivyo ni kama ndio mama. Kwa hivyo naona ndio wazito watawin. Ile kitu iko mimi naona England, France mahali iliwikia ni pale 98, mahali iliwika sana kwa final za World. Kwa hivyo sionangi wakiwa wazito vile.
So those are the people of Thika there, just giving us the predictions on this game. It's France taking on England. It will be at the Stade de France. Now, France are not only favorites, Steve, for this particular game. It's like they're favorites for the World Cup, which hasn't even been played.
Well, I think for the last 20 or so years, in every tournament, there's always been a loyal legion of people supporting France, and with good reason. They've always been good competition, apart from, of course, 2010 when they decided to beat up the coach and all of those dramas they had. They didn't actually beat him up, but they were close to. So I think they did well in the Euro. I think it was just one goal too far for them, that thunderbolt by Eder. But when we talk about the context of this game against England, France and friendlies have also been a good thing. The last friendly I think they performed poorly was that 0-0 draw against Ivory Coast just before the Euro.
Yeah.
So I think we saw last week against Paraguay, a very strong Paraguay side. They brushed them aside. In fact, I was surprised because just earlier that day on this same show,
I remember,
I had said that it will be a tough game for France. But clearly it wasn't. They were fully in control.
Yeah.
And they're playing with a lot of assurance. They're playing with a lot of confidence. They're scoring goals. So I think against England are also champions of friendlies. In fact, if World Cups were won on friendlies, England would win them all. England beating Germany and everybody thinking. Then they'll go to group stage and be knocked out in the first leg.
Yeah.
So England are also quite good at friendlies. So it will be an interesting encounter.
All right, but one thing that's kept on being said, Mutiso, is how scary the depth of the France squad currently is.
Yeah, they have an array of talent. We have Ousmane Dembele, you have Olivier Giroud, you have Dimitri Payet. If I had a team like that, I don't know. It's a headache for Didier Deschamps. And matches between England and France are always entertaining. But I see a win for France because England, I just have a problem with their defense. They have a good midfielders, they have good attackers, but their defense is always complacent.
But sometimes even with their attackers, Mutiso, it's like they have a conversion problem, you know. Even their attack is not 100%, I think.
The attack right now is great because you have Dele Alli, we have Hurricane. They've had exceptional season with them, and they've scored goals, and also Oxlade-Chamberlain from Arsenal, and also Gareth Southgate is trying to change the system of England's system, just like in Chelsea and also Arsenal, to a 3-4-3 system. And I think he'll flourish in that system, but I don't see them holding out France. I don't see them at all.
So how many goals, before you give a prediction, how many goals, just a general number, do you see in this game?
3-1.
3-1. You've already given your prediction there. But let's talk about Giroud. We had touched on him earlier. He's become quite the unlikely hero for France, Steve.
Yeah, and it's not only starting now. At the Euro, I think he was also a joint top scorer. He had 5 goals. Was it 5 or 3? Yeah, he did really well at the Euros. And the one thing that Giroud has given to the team in the absence of Benzema, we've not even felt the absence of Benzema. Giroud has given support play because France are playing with 2 strikers. Giroud creates the space for the likes of Griezmann, for the likes of Payet to flourish. And that's why you see him as that central figure starting every game. Even if he doesn't score, by the time he's leaving the game, if fans were booing him at the beginning, they're clapping for him when he's being substituted.
Yeah, but I mean, all Arsenal in general, you know, even French fans need to cut Giroud some slack.
That's the gist
just
about...
one second, just one second, we'll get back to your point. Let's have a look at the head-to-head, because the two teams have quite a bit of history behind them. France winning it 8 times. The two teams have played 30. France taking 8 of those 30, and maybe history setting a precedent here. England winning 17 of those 30 games, and it's been a draw 5 times between these two teams. Mutiso, back to your point.
I wanted to say that Olivier Giroud, I think against all odds, that's when he flourishes. When France fans, they boo him, that's when he comes out and gets the goal.
When he's under pressure.
When
even,
he's under
even
pressure.
At Arsenal.
Even at Arsenal.
Yeah.
When the fans are just bored and don't want him anymore near Arsenal, that's when he flourishes. You saw him against Bayern Munich when Arsenal was playing Bayern Munich. He had an awful match. But afterwards, he was scoring in almost every match when he's come on. And with France, the same thing has been happening.
Yeah.
And he did step up when they lost Benzema in Euro 2016. And I think when all odds are against him, that's when he flourishes.
Is when he rises up, just like the phoenix out of the ashes. Let's get in a call. Hello, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello.
Hello, hi, Abariako. What's your name?
Okay, I'm Johnson.
You're Johnston?
Yeah, I'm calling from Theka.
From Theka, yes. Tell us, what's your comment or question?
My comment was about the game for France against England.
Yes.
Yeah, my prediction is that England will take the day because when you focus in England match, there's a game that doesn't have so much impact.
Right.
They're good in that.
All right, so England are quite good. That's what Johnson from Thika is saying. He's going for an English win against France. Let's get in another call. Hello?
It's Kigogo talking.
Yes, what's your name?
Kigogo.
Yes, Kiprop. What's your comment or question for us today?
My question goes to EPL.
Goes to?
EPL, English Premier League.
The English Premier League, okay?
Yes. The question goes to Steve.
Steve?
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
The question is that who do you think will be the kings of the next season?
That's an interesting one, but it's hard to say. I think teams are signing, but right now with the money, the amount of money, all teams, even the small teams have a capacity. Remember the season Leicester won, everybody was tipping someone else. So right now it's very hard to say. But I think personally, from an honest and biased perspective, I'll give the English Premier League next season either to Arsenal or Liverpool, because those are the two teams that I've seen strengthen. And that one I think will be a topic for another day, because it's controversial.
It will be. We are getting quite a number of calls coming in. Hello? Hello? Okay, so not a good connection. Let's get in another one. Hello there.
Hello.
Hello, hi. Please reduce the volume on your TV set.
Nauliza,
Tuambie.
unaona hii game ya England
Ina France.
Mimi naona France ikiwin.
Unaona France wakishinda. Unaitwaje?
Naitwa Wilson Njoroge.
Yes, Wilson Njoroge. Okay, so Njoroge hapo anaona France wakishinda. He's seeing France beating England. Let's get in another call. Hello.
Hello, my name is Mirigo.
Yes.
What I'm suggesting is that, and I think England is good now, forward, but ukiangalia na France, unajua France watu ni kama wako sawa. Difficult, but England will win.
Okay, so unaona France watu wako sawa, but difficult, but England will win it.
Win it.
Okay, all right, good stuff. Thanks for calling. Let's take in the last call of the show. We are short on time. Hello? Hello? Okay, so not quite the best connection there. Let's take in the last one then. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, hi, what's your name?
I'm fine.
Yes, what's your comment or question? Hello? All right, we seem to have lost him there. Can we get in another one or not? Let's take in another one. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, please reduce the volume of your TV set as you tell us your name and give us your question or comment today.
Okay, I run for France.
You're going for France?
Yes.
Okay, at least tell us your name, sir.
I'm Vincent.
You're Vincent?
Yeah, from
Thanks so
Thika.
much for calling in, Vincent. Are you betting on France?
In France.
You're betting on France?
Yeah, the likes of Samuel Umtiti.
Okay, it's a complete team. Call us next week and tell us how much you've won.
Okay.
Good stuff. Thanks for calling, Vincent.
Thank you.
All right, so let's have quickly a look at the last 5 games that these two teams have played. Let's start with France, because their form, as Steve was saying here, has almost been 100% brilliant. So if we could have that up on screen. The only loss coming up against Spain, other than that, it's been unbeaten. Not so, Steve?
Yeah, there's that loss to Spain in another friendly, and that's what I've said. Sometimes these friendlies are unpredictable. You saw that draw against Ivory Coast, but the win against Paraguay was their most recent, so let's judge it upon the merits of that most recent win. And it's going to be tricky for England, but also for France. They also acknowledge the size of the task that's ahead of them. This is no Paraguay. This is no team that has traveled 3 continents. This is England. And we all know when it comes to facing England, there's too much hype, there's everything.
By the way, has Gareth Southgate been unbeaten so far in his few games as English manager?
Yeah, he has not yet tasted the pain of a defeat.
Of defeat.
Yeah, and I think he'd rather face it against France in a friendly than against some team in a qualifier.
Yeah.
Let him just win the qualifiers and build his squad. Even if he loses 6 or 5-0 to France.
Than against the likes of Montenegro.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the last 5 for England very quickly. How has their form been? If we could have that up on screen right now. England, is it topsy-turvy? Is it good? Let's have a look. The last 5 of England, please. Yes, it's 1 loss, also just 1 loss coming up against Germany. It's 2 wins and 2 draws. What do you make of this in a quick statement, Mutiso?
I think it was through sheer luck that they drew against Spain.
Yeah.
And you saw they won against Lithuania. And the loss against Germany, we all saw it. It was goals. And they also won against Scotland. It was 2-0. That match was in England.
Yeah.
And they drew against Slovenia.
Yeah. All right, guys. So let me give you the odds of this game. You tell me how you see it going. It's 1.95 for the French to take it at the Stade de France. It's 3.24 for a draw between the 2 teams, and it's 3.86 for Gareth Southgate's team. The likes of who? Defoe, the likes of Vardy, the likes of Kane, Steve.
The likes of Danny Welbeck,
right?
Who is also called Barua.
Barua.
So yeah, that's a Ghanaian name. He was also eligible to play for Ghana.
Yes. All right. So how do you see this game panning out? Prediction. It's a tough one, eh?
It's tricky.
Yeah.
But over 2.5.
And over 2.5.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Because France know how to score.
That's a hard call, Steve.
England also know how to score, especially when it comes to penalties and stuff like that. We see the types of games they play. We see the types of scores they can. There are 3 2s, 2 1s, 2 2s. So I think to play safe, over 2.5 would be a good consideration.
Okay. What about you, Mutiso?
A win for France, and also it will be a goal.
A win for France and a goal.
Yes, England, right now the attackers are on scoring form, and I see them making a goal or 2. And also for France, England's defense, I see France exposing them very badly. And I see maybe a 3-1 win or a 3-2.
All right, we will be touching on these and discussing these next week. We'll be having a look and see if you guys will come through as you did last week. A big shout out to you, and a big shout out to you as well from home and from wherever you are watching us from. Thanks so much for tuning in to this week's episode. I will see you again, same time, same place next week. Good night and good luck, and may the odds be forever in your favor.
Betway, for the love of the game.